My name is Friar John, and I'm here on a very special occasion. And maybe, Jacob, you could let me know what on earth is going on tomorrow.
Oh, well, we're going to be having our profession for simple vows, and I think both Jaime and myself are really looking forward to that. And it basically, simple vows is being able to take the poverty, chastity, and obedience for 3 years until we're able to take our final vows.
So what really drives a person to proclaim these vows publicly? What's with that? What motivates you? Go for it.
I guess what would really motivate me is just kind of what we've been learning throughout this year. At first it was a little interesting trying to figure out a little bit about St. Francis's life, but as the novitiate started going on, everything continued to unfold. It was more of an understanding of how just to be human out there, show people your humanity, rather than going out there and right away thinking something's going to change that day, but to just allow yourself to carry what you already have. And I think that's what motivates me, is to go out there and show people that you can just be human and enjoy the love of Christ.
Enjoy the love of Christ and to be human. So what are the 3 vows that you're going to profess tomorrow, and how do you explain to someone on the sidewalk what it is you're doing?
So basically, a lot of people know the 3 vows would be poverty, chastity, and obedience. But at least what we have been taught is that we take the vow of nothing of our own, which would be poverty, and then we take chastity and obedience. As far as perhaps telling someone on the street what those vows are, I think everybody in a sense has to be able to live some form of commitment in their life, such as marriage, or even in the single life when you're committed to somebody very special. And so I think it's part of being human and being able to commit yourself to something other than yourself.
I think that we're all inspired to move beyond ourselves with this vow and to make that special commitment. Is there one particular person who's inspired each of you, maybe a saint or a friar that you know that really lives the vows well?
Well, the friar for me would be Brother Tim. There's just little different instances where you don't realize how much he's actually teaching you, even if it's just looking at the butterflies going around, or making sure you're pulling out a huge root from the ground, or cleaning out the alleyway. He's someone that has really caught my attention in the way that he lives, in his simplicity, but also his love for his brothers, what he does in his work.
You, Jacob?
For me, definitely it was St. Francis, and just being able to see his simplicity and his way of life, not necessarily wanting to create anything for himself, but wanting to be able to live out his life in a deep commitment to our Lord. As far as like a friar, I would probably say Brother Tim, I would say John Stowe, so many friars that have influenced me in my life. I think every friar has something to bring, and I know Jaime, we talk about this all the time, just all the different friars that we meet, everyone has something special, everyone has something to contribute.
There is something that we normally do talk about, and it's, sometimes we meet these people or these friars, and you sit down and you talk to them and you just have a regular conversation with them. Come to find out, their great minds, or their thoughts, or what they do out there in the world, it's just absolutely amazing. But you're sitting there just talking about, the cake you just baked or something, and they're sitting there waiting to go eat last, and this person's someone high up in the Franciscan order, or even somebody high up in the society when it comes to education wise, these doctors, and but yet they still have the time to come and sit down and talk with you and just be one-on-one with you. Very, very humble friars.
And Friar Andy Martinez has been real influential in Southwest Vocations, and maybe you have a few questions for these men.
Sure. Well, it's been great knowing you guys and working with you guys. I'm glad that you're coming to the end of the novitiate year and starting your, I guess, new chapter. You want to call it new chapter of moving on from the novitiate. But especially asking Jaime, we all have our backgrounds and we all have our past, of what we've done in our life. But I want to ask you if you've ever thought that either 5 years ago you'd be here, or what did you think think you would be doing in 5 years, but here you are as a friar novice, soon to make your first profession. So, what are your thoughts about the 5 years?
Um, well, like you're saying, I never thought that I would be here, or given the opportunity. I should say I'm very thankful for the opportunity that not only that the Friars gave me, but the opportunity that God was able to get me to realize that this is something that I could do, and coming here, and in the 5 years that are coming up, I'm really looking forward to just putting myself into the program of formation and allowing myself to be formed in this way. One thing that I really enjoyed being here is that there was, sometimes I would say, I'm not here to change the Friars, or I'm not here to really throw, yes, my opinion in certain things that I stand firm within myself, but I'm here to be molded in a way that I never thought would be possible.
Sure.
So that's
But at the same time, you also bring your gifts and talents to the Friars, and you teach us, because we all learn from one another. So, in your background too of being able to cook and bake, and that's one of your gifts and talents, and we especially hope to enjoy that in the future. If that's what you decide to pursue. So, congratulations on that. But now turning it over to Jacob. Jacob looks pretty young, and he is very young. And he came in to the Friars. I remember when you were first discerning, thinking about coming on a vocation retreat with us, and you might have been 16, maybe 17, something like that.
17, yeah, probably.
17. But when you came in, when you actually joined us, you were either 17 or 18, because that was your high school last year. So I would ask you, what do you think? Coming in at a young age, what would you tell a young person maybe about your age, or if they're thinking about that, because you still at a young age you jumped in. So what would you contribute to a young person discerning a call to the Franciscans?
I think I would tell someone around a young age, that you can't be afraid of your vocation, or being able to discern what God's calling you to do. I know at a young age I had this idea that the Friars were something, something. I guess like a perfect image of the medieval St. Francis. When I entered the order, I was really shocked, because my perception of how I wanted to see the order was not what I thought it was. But what I found instead was a much more human approach of how to be holy. I know when I first started my approach to coming to God, I wanted to do everything perfect, but we're not perfect, and the Friars have helped me, or have taught me to be able to see my imperfections, and be able to not be afraid of them, and be able to work on them. And so I would tell someone that's young, don't be afraid. You got this.
Well said. Well, my name is Friar John Bamman, here with Friar Andy Martinez from Arroyo Grande, California. And tomorrow, these two men will selflessly give of themselves for the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. In many ways, they're living out St. Francis, who said, "This is what I want, this is what I desire, this is what I seek with all my heart. You too make us proud." Peace and all good things.